What is going on, Debt Free Mafia? Hey, welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to talk about Zillow. Is Zillow manipulating the market? Are they causing problems with prices going up? Are they making it more difficult for millennials to be able to afford affordable housing, right? That's a big thing that's going on right now. Millennials feel like they just can't buy houses right now. And there's a legitimate reason, but I don't think it's Zillow. And I want to talk about in this video why I don't think it's Zillow, and to also talk about some of the stuff that they're dealing with in the news. Guys, if you don't know me, my name is Rick. I'm a financial coach and the owner of Debt Free Mafia. If you are into being financially bulletproof, if you're into personal finance and wanting to live debt free and have financial freedom and be able to chase the goals and the dreams that you have, this is the place for you. Go ahead, hit subscribe, hit the like button if you don't mind, because it helps me out big time. Leave a comment below. Are you somebody who's in the market looking for a house right now, or are you already in a home and you want your home values to continue to rise, or are you somebody who's really wanting to buy a house and a home prices just continue to rise as you're trying to save money to even get a down payment? I get it, but let me know in the comments, just because I'm curious what my audience is trying to do when it comes to houses. But yeah, let's talk about it. So Zillow's been in the news, and I actually want to bring this up because I want to talk about something that kind of started all of this. Whoops. I didn't know it was going to auto start. You know how TikTok is. TikTok likes to auto start everything. This is a TikTok that actually went viral, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because there's some weird timing on some of it, and I think it's just a coincidence, but there's some weird timing on it. But I want to play this video real quick just to see what you guys think. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to go back. I'm going to talk about it just a little bit here. Here's the video. It's I think his name is Sean Gotcher. He's a real estate agent in Vegas, and he has a suspicion, and I'm gonna play it here for you guys and get your thoughts on what you think he's meaning by this.
For about 11 years now. Now let's talk about the housing crisis, and let's talk about some what ifs. What if there was a company that everybody knew of to look for houses, and everybody goes on there and searches for houses when they're bored and stuff, and so that company, they just sit back and they just collect all the data. They just know what zip code is looking at what zip code and how much those people can afford. Everyone's looking at this one zip code, and everybody seems to be able to afford this certain amount, and let's say that billion-dollar company uses that information to go into that zip code and start purchasing houses. Because the people that are selling their houses, even though they sell it for a little bit less sometimes than what the home could actually be worth, and they pay these high fees to this billion-dollar company, it's a convenience factor. So this company's scooping up houses less than what they actually could cost. And let's say that company, that company buys 30 homes within a 2-mile radius. And let's say the price is $300,000. So they buy all of these homes for $300,000. And then on the 31st home, they buy it for $340,000, even though they know all of the comps, because most people have to get a loan. And if you get a loan, you have to get an appraisal, which means the appraiser is going to look at what homes have sold in the area for that size and that price per square foot. So they're paying cash. They don't need an appraisal. Why would they pay?
Okay, so we can continue that later on, but this video has over 3 million views on TikTok. It also got shared to, let me switch back to this screen real quick. It also got shared to Twitter and had like another 2 million views on Twitter alone. So I mean, this has had over 5 million views. It's been shared quite a bit because, you know, a lot of people think that there are just big bad guys that are against people trying to buy houses. I'm going to make my argument for why I don't think that's true, but there's a suspicion that, and because Zillow does go and buy houses. They offer cash for houses and go and they'll make an offer and buy the house. If the house is not for sale, they're like, hey, you want to sell your house? We got cash, we can give it you today. We'll buy your house. And so basically what he's saying that they'll come in and buy a neighborhood, a bunch of houses in the neighborhood. They'll buy it all for cash, so they don't need an appraisal. They'll get it for a really good rate, which Zillow does. Their goal, and there's another company called Redfin that does the same thing. Essentially what they do is they go in and they try to buy a house for what they think is about 3.5% under value, and then their goal is to turn around and sell it for about 1.5% over value. So it's not a really big margin that they make on these homes. But what he's saying is he thinks that they go in and buy a bunch of homes, and then that last one they buy for more. Reason being is because it'll be the last home sold in the neighborhood. It'll be the one that gets appraised the highest, right? So like, oh, well, all the value of all these other homes has gone way up because the most recent home went for 40 or over 10% of what all the other homes in the neighborhood went for. So he's basically saying that he thinks that like these big companies are coming in, buying all these houses, and buying them for cheap, then manipulating it to make it more profitable so they can turn around and sell these homes that they bought for cheaper for 10% more, which is just not true. If you look at it, their goal is to try to get 1.5% over, so they do undercut a little bit at 3.5%. Granted, Zillow is not holding a gun to anybody's head to sell their home. Ultimately, people are selling their own homes, right? So that was kind of a suspicion that everybody had. I don't believe that's what's been going on, because the margins really aren't that great. And here's why I know that the margins aren't really great. Shortly after this video, and you can consider it a coincidence, or maybe it's because of the virality of the video. You could even blame that. But I think it's just a coincidence. Here lately, Zillow has basically in their third quarter, they had their third quarter financials come back, and they were not good. They were not good at all. They had lost like $380 million in this whole process of buying homes. I think they started doing it in like 2018. I think their inventory was around 20,000 homes, which is really a tiny, tiny drop in the housing market. I mean, a tiny, tiny drop. So the fact that they only had that many, you can't convince me that they're controlling the market with such a small amount of homes in the market. And then, so you also want to think about the margins that they are making at these homes really weren't as good as what he was considering that they were. And there might be some instances where that was true. And then, there were a lot of millennials were also jumping on because their parents were getting offered straight from Zillow, which I thought was odd. It's this whole process they call iBuyers. Zillow is doing iBuying is what it's called. It's essentially like what they do is they take all the data that they have gathered, and they use an algorithm that they built to determine whether a home is a really good deal or not for them to put an offer on. And that's what they were using for a really long time. But this year they took a huge loss. They learned that their algorithm was wrong and that they were actually overpaying for homes. And so they have been offboarding a ton of homes. They think they sold 2,000 homes already to an investment group out of New York. They sold a bunch of them for a loss that basically were underwater, that they owed more than the home was worth. So it was a big hit to the company. Stock prices plummeted. I don't think that they did that on purpose. I will tell you about a conspiracy that I did read about it, and you can take it with a grain of salt, or you could buy into it and go check it out for yourself. But essentially, the conspiracy is that Zillow sees a giant home crisis coming, and they're starting to offload their most toxic or most risky assets right now, so that they can kind of be more prepared for this giant home crisis. I do believe that we are in somewhat of a home bubble, but there's one overwhelming thing that is causing this crazy home prices more than anything, and that is the fact that there are more people than there are homes. And that's just a matter of economics, right? Supply and demand. I think according to Realtor.com, recently had an article that said that they estimate that the home shortage is we're short about 5.2 million homes in the United States. So I also saw a chart not too long ago that was a graph. Basically, it said the number of people and the number of available houses. It used to be following along with the population pretty well, but now it's starting to dip below pretty substantially between the amount of people that are actually living in the United States now. The home supply is just not there. And I don't know if it's this way in your area, but here in my area, it's like there's a new apartment complex going up everywhere just because people need a place to stay. There's just starting to become a lot of people and not a lot of places to stay. So that's the number one determining factor in these home prices. When the demand is high, the demand is high because the supply is low. And when that happens, prices just go up, right? It's just the same thing across the board when it comes to economics. Like, for example, some of you guys that follow the channel know that I love sneakers. I love rare sneakers. And the fact that they're rare means that their prices are usually a lot higher, right? Because the demand's higher, because they're rare, because the supply is lower, the prices go up, right? So it's really just a case of supply and demand, in my opinion. And also, it's been really expensive to build homes, especially lately with the supply chain issues and all the effects from what we've gone through over the last few years. So that's really what's driving the home prices. And Zillow's not coming in here and manipulating the market. That was a huge hit to that conspiracy theory. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe they're playing chess and we're playing checkers over here. We'll wait and see. But guys, if you are looking for a home, I really genuinely wish you the best. And I really hope that you're in the position soon to be able to do that. Again, My name is Rick, financial coach, owner of the Debt Free Mafia. So thankful that you stopped by. Hit subscribe if you're about this kind of stuff. Here we teach all kinds of different things when it comes to personal finance. Leave your questions below. Happy to answer them. Guys, I hope you have a really good day, and I hope this kind of gave you a little bit insight to what's been going on with Zillow. So I'll link some articles in the comments below, or sorry, in the description below, just so you can go and look at kind of the same stuff that I was looking at if you're more curious and want a little bit to go more in depth. I'm happy to share that with you. But guys, again, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll talk to you later. Peace.